Hola, collective. Hope you are having a great day. Are you? Well, hopefully. Sorry I had to take a few days off, guys. On Saturday evening, I developed a fever, which is rare. And so I've been out and about, out and about on my couch. I have been out for the count for a little while here, but I am back. My voice is a little bit off. I will probably up the volume on this recording just because you may not hear me that well. And I'll likely have to edit the video. We'll see. See how things go. I do have my tea. I do have a throat lozenge that I'm going to put in my mouth shortly here just to be able to facilitate my throat as I get through the reading. Anyhow, hope you're marvelous. And yeah, let's get started. I have no idea what's going to come through or how this is going to go. My brain has been a little bit foggy lately, but I don't know. I trust that my guides will still come through with the messages and that my gifts and abilities will still be online just fully as they normally are. But hopefully, I transmit the message properly. That's what I'm thinking. All right, so give me a second to pop this throat lozenge into my mouth. I may sound a little bit weird with it in my mouth, but I'm going to need it going through this. So, for an extended speaking period of time, that is. All right, holy ancestors, Holy Spirit guides, what deck would you like me to start with today? Tarot. Okay. All righty. Now, I have pre-shuffled all the cards already, but I'm going to shuffle them again because I was asked to. Okay, I just heard Jamie. That might be somebody's name here or somebody you know. And Kevin. Huh, okay. I just heard went away. Some of these things may be relevant for somebody here. Hmm. I just heard I left, like very clearly. I left. Okay. All right. Anything else you want to channel through here, Spirit? Anything that makes sense? I don't know what I just heard, but I was like, that is not the English language, so I'm not really sure what to make of that. Um, hmm. I just heard somebody asking, are we there yet? Kind of like kids do on a long trip. Are we there yet? Um, but this is from an adult, and I think it's with regards to your path. Am I there yet? Have I made it past the threshold? Okay, I also just heard antiquities. So somebody may deal with antiquities or somebody you know. Okay, that was very quick to come out. I didn't even ask a question yet. Okay, so we have the Queen of Pentacles. All right, since I didn't ask a question, let's just see what you want to tell us, Spirit, about this Queen of Pentacles. What's the story, Morning Glory, about this Queen of Pentacles? Okay, all three. So we have um, the Three of Pentacles, the Five of Wands, and the Five of Swords. Oh, five, five. Interesting. All right, so let me just see what they would like to channel through here. So if you're new to my channel, I do things a little bit different. I am a channel for the divine, and I am also newer to tarot. So bear with me as I work with the tarot. I'm still learning and I'm in my infancy stages of it. So, all right. Oh, hold on. I'm getting a download. Okay. I was just, I was told to please listen carefully. Okay. So maybe my guides are going to help me out right now because, um, again, I've got some brain fog going on here. And yeah, I will listen carefully. Thank you for that. Okay, so the Queen of Wands here, or the Queen of Pentacles here, has been going through a few things here. So, um, what I'm getting here, so what I'm actually picking up on here is that this Queen of Pentacles, this could be you, or it could be somebody you're dealing with. Um, this represents an earthy energy. So somebody who's very practical, somebody who is very strong in their finances or learning to be, and also can be a very good nurturer, a good parent, or even just nurturing things into existence. So whether that is something that you've been building, like the Queen of Pentacles represents somebody who is a good builder, has a solid foundation, has developed uh, all of her material realm. Um, she's developed her material resources from the ground up, right? But she's secure in them. And so being beside the Three of Pentacles here, um, what I'm getting is that there has been some struggle, there's been some difficulty. There has been, especially beside the Five of Wands and then the Five of Swords, there's been conflict, there's been struggle, there's been difficulty in building these resources, right? So it seems as though whomever this is, whether this is you or somebody else, there has been a difficulty, and this could be because it's ending with the Five of Swords, which represents air. It could represent that this has been the mind, right? So what I am seeing here is that you or somebody else in your energy has been, and you can flip the roles as you see fit. If you're male, then, there's no real gender in tarot. It's just what I'm reading off the cards. Um, Whatever it was that you've experienced in the past has led you to a place where now you may have been dealing with conflict, inner turmoil, um, but within the mind, right? This represents the mind energy. And so, whatever it is that you have been experiencing has put you up in your head to some degree because of the past, right? I'm seeing the past here coming forward with conflict and I can't talk today, disagreements and tension and all of this energy. You're wanting to collaborate or possibly work with others or even just create something stable for you, create stability for yourself. But there has been something that you've been up against for a long time. And that conflict has put you up in your head to some degree and created inner conflict that you've now been trying um, to resolve, right? To process or to let go of. Okay. Spirit, um, well, we know why the conflict was there, but those two, okay. And that one. All right. As I said, they're going to be just like straight up guiding me. So, Okay, so we've got the Seven of Cups reversed. We've got the Nine of Wands and the King of Swords. Okay, and we got the Emperor too after, but I'll take that after. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to edit this video. Otherwise, it's gonna be a lot of coughing all the way through. Okay, so this Seven of Cups reversed is what its meaning is alignment, your personal values, feeling overwhelmed by too many choices, lack of purpose, maybe living in fantasy or illusion, um, diversion, and confusion. And the Nine of Wands is about courage and persistence and testing your faith, testing your resilience. It's about your boundaries, um, well, always like waiting for that last shoe to drop, needing permission or not needing permission, sorry, pessimism or being weary. As you can see in this card, like he's gone through the battle already and now he's all bandaged up and now he's learned a lot, right? He's gone through the battles and he's learned a lot, but he's also weary of what is to come because there's still something, still some sort of woundedness holding him back from trusting. And with all of these options here, all of these aspects of life showing up where you could go down any route at this time, go in any direction at this time, um, it seems as though whatever potential is showing up in your life or opportunities, um, whomever this is that I'm speaking to is having some difficulty in trusting that potential or trusting that path or trusting the decisions, and maybe even feeling somewhat overwhelmed. But given that the King of Swords is here, the King of Swords is really, again, it's an air element, so it's about making very clear decisions with the mind, without allowing negative emotions to sway your ideas or your opinions on something, right? So the King of Swords can be quite cold at times, um, but the King of Swords is fair. And because of that, um, the King of Swords will utilize that authority, that mental authority, to make exacting decisions on things, right? And so, because it's right beside this Nine of Wands, what I'm really picking up here is that there is definitely a lot coming up from past. And again, this could be like your own illusions that you've created or your own projections that you're projecting outward, based on what it is that you've experienced. I'm pretty sure this came up in the last collective reading too. So, not a big surprise that these energies are carrying through, but you're being asked to um, really make a decision at this point with your head rather than your emotions. And that isn't to say that you should pick a direction that is like not going to serve you or make you feel good or that you're going to dread doing or, building in that direction. No. But what it is saying is that you need to drop these wands and allow yourself to um, carve out the right path for yourself, but be very clear with your intention. Be very honest with yourself, right? And also a level of discipline because this is air again, this is the mind, and this is fire here, and this is water. That really sums it up in the sense of like, okay, I'm deciding now to utilize this air element and this sword to cut through all of the illusions, to cut through all of the maybe the lies that I'm telling myself or the limiting beliefs, right? It's really time to set aside your past, what I'm getting, and to use that sort of truth to cut through those lies, to cut through any illusions, to cut through again the confusion or the programming that you've received. And then we've got the Emperor here. Yeah, and put beside the King of Swords here. This is about taking leadership of your own life, right? Because we've got discipline coming through here. And making decisions that are going to create stability in your life, coming back to this Queen of Pentacles here, making clear decisions that are going to give you back your power, allow you to take ownership of your life, take ownership of your time, your schedule, how you show up in the world, how you'd like to, um, and aligning with all of those things too, right? But not only that, because the emperor is a leader. The emperor is very practical, and that kind of goes along with this King of Swords energy. Um, the emperor and the King of Swords are both very disciplined, right? Very authoritarian in a sense. And so you need to be the authority of your own life at this time, and decide what that's going to look like for you. If somebody says, like, I think you would be best at this, well, is that their opinion? Are you going to take it on as yours and live your life in that role? Or are you going to decide that that's not right for you? Or maybe it is, who knows? But being very clear about your decisions and what you know is right for you, and getting out of this mental state of conflict, that's going to be very important for you. Ensuring that you're getting out of any inner conflict so that you can create the stability. Because in this card here, this Three of Pentacles, you've got like beggars here, right? And you've got somebody who's standing above them and has an empty cup pouring it out, right? There's nothing in it. And so this indicates to me that if you don't engage with the energies properly, with yourself properly, then it can lead to more destabilization, right? More of the same. And what you're being called to do is to step into this leadership role and to demonstrate your own power and authority over your own life by being very clear, but also having very firm boundaries with yourself and with the world around you. And then it's possible from there, right? Okay. Yeah, this might be a bit of a shorter read today until I'm feeling a little more, feeling a bit better. I was going to say a little more better. Uh, Otherwise, it's going to take me forever to edit all the coughs out of this video. All right, do you want me to continue using tarot? No. Okay. Where are we going next? Here? Okay. What other messages do you have for the collective, Holy Spirit? Yeah, maybe I'll just do a couple short reads over the next few days, and then I'll feel better. I'll be able to preserve my voice too, hopefully, a little bit. I've got my kids home this week, so I'd like to be able to communicate with them too when they come home. Anything, let's see, any advice for the collective on how to drop these burdens that they've been carrying. Well, I guess, yeah, you already gave us that. King of Swords here. Let's see, what am I going to ask? Okay, is there anything more that the collective can do to become the emperor or empress? Again, flip the rules as you see fit, as you need to. No? Okay, so we've got the sun's rays. Oh, okay. I just heard maximize. I heard maximize the light that is coming through. So um, there is a need to shed some of this stuff, to shed the conflict, to shed the past, the story, to lay these wands down and to maybe shed that weariness, shed that doubt, I heard, or lack of faith, to maximize the capacity of the energy that's coming through for you to elevate you. It's important to let these things go, to let these wands lay them down. Those are your burdens, right? He's been carrying all these burdens for a long time and he's created this wall around him to protect him, right? So it's essential to start laying them down and allowing yourself to show up in your authentic um, frequency without putting on old masks, I guess. And this will allow for more of this higher vibration frequency light to actually enter you, to elevate you into the status. But the biggest problem here is that being up in your mind so much is causing confusion as to which path to choose, or maybe it's not even a path, but it's hmm, I just heard identity. So Um, some of you are struggling to stand in your own personal authority, to stand in your own authenticity, and may have resorted recently to um, putting your walls up and acting in an old version of yourself or wearing a mask because of some sort of insecurity. And so, your advice is to allow this light to transmute, to help you heal and transmute those energies of fear or anxiety or stress when showing up in the world or with other people. Um, and even if you can only take down one of these wands at a time, then at least you're still making progress, right? And that's going to get you out of this conflict because this is all internal conflict right here with the Seven of Cups reversed and the Five of Swords upright. This is mental conflict or eternal conflict. And I think that some of you may have been a little hard on yourself recently as to maybe potentially falling back into these old ways of being or programs or feeling insecure and needing to wear a mask, right? And I'm hearing that that's okay. It was a part of the learning lesson. It was a part of understanding something bigger or something more about yourself, right? And maybe it's about who you're vulnerable with and who you're not, right? Um, yeah, I don't know if anything else is coming through on that at the moment. Okay, anything more to go with this sun's rays? Oh. Yeah, and I heard maximize your potential to remove this wall, right? With this energy. So maybe calling on the sun's energy, maybe getting outside for a bit and soaking up the rays of the sun, because the sun has light codes, and these light codes activate you in many different ways. I'm not saying going out there and or go out there and get a burn, but I am saying like it's good to be out in the sun and to get those light codes activated within you. And maybe some of you are lacking that right now. You haven't had enough time to spend in nature or outside with the sun. But calling on the sun's energy, to activate these light codes within you is going to help you to remove these masks, burdens. I also heard shields. It's going to be different for each of you to allow yourself to elevate into your highest potential, right? They're telling me to keep that separate now. Sure. All right, Holy Spirit. Any more advice for the collective that would benefit them? A chakra. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm being told to stop. So your root chakra, which is all about safety, security, not just in the material realm like finances and stuff, or having, a roof over your head, or being able to pay the bills, or having groceries, but also about your physical sense of safety. So they're pointing out that whatever's going on here comes back to a point in your life um, where you felt, how do I say that, unsafe in the world. And it could be showing up in many different ways. It could be showing up through traumas that you experienced, or through poverty, or through insecurity within your home, or um, many different ways. Let's be honest. There's definitely a tie between you wanting to build security for yourself, but having to deal with all of this conflict and feeling weary, and, not really necessarily knowing whether or not you can trust the path ahead of you, not knowing if you can trust the path ahead of you or not. And this creates more insecurity, right? When you're not living in faith, or taking ownership of your life, or taking action, even, and separating the past from your future, it just bleeds into it, right? Anything else you'd like to channel through on this root chakra? Hmm. Yeah, so they're saying that the biggest thing you need to note about this root chakra is that when you are feeling unsafe, you are feeling ungrounded, that is going to affect all areas of your life. It's going to affect not only all areas of your life, but it's going to affect you. So this could look like dysregulation emotionally, or within your nervous system, or it could look like um, mental gymnastics, anxiety, stress, not being able to sleep. What is that called, Spirit, when the thoughts go in and out really fast? No, it's not flighty. Anyways, when your thoughts come in and out really, really fast, and you can't keep track, racing thoughts, thank you. Um, yeah, when that happens, then of course you can't think properly either, right? So it creates chaos in your life when your root chakra is destabilized. And so they're really wanting you to pay attention to your root chakra and to pay attention to why you feel that way. And for some of you, maybe whatever it is that you are fearing, you need to expose yourself to, like exposure therapy, right? So maybe some of you need to set the tone, set the room, set your environment to be that of comfort and safety and security while you process or you expose yourself to something that has been unsettling you or creating this insecurity within you, because that's affecting your ability to create stability, right? And from what I'm gathering here, that's all that you're wanting to do is to finally create some sort of stability for yourself, which could be finances or material gains, because again, the Queen of Pentacles is about earthly things, right? The material realm. And so if you're feeling destabilized, then around any aspect of your material realm, then you need to either expose yourself in a environment that is soothing and regulate your nervous system before you go into it, or regulate your emotions, or maybe meditate or do some box breathing or whatever you do to calm your nervous system down. But it's essential to bring yourself back into balance at this time, because otherwise, your root chakra, when it's out of alignment or it's not balanced, is going to create more havoc in all areas of your life, which will be more destabilizing. It'll work in the opposite direction of what you're trying to create. And it'll also oppose being able to step into this empress or emperor status, because you'd then be operating out of your wounds, right? And because this is the first chakra, um, that represents your childhood. So there's something from childhood that's causing conflict right now. And it may be a pattern that you learned, or a behavior, or even a belief that you picked up from your own parents. And you might even be unconscious of it. But for some reason, every time you look at your bank account, you're stressed, or every time that you think about stepping forward and building your new life or building your identity, or, this is about building. So, or building your new career or job, it leads to some sort of panic or some sort of dysregulation within you. And so there's something being hidden in childhood, in your early years, that is negatively impacting your ability to fully step forward. And again, it could have to do with, wearing a mask, or it could have to do with having too many options or feeling overwhelmed with so many things that you have to take care of on a regular basis, or this weariness from the experiences that you've had in the past. And that could include childhood trauma, right? All right. What would be helpful for the collective regarding their root chakra? What would be supportive for the collective? Funny. I was like, I bet it's another chakra. And yeah, sure enough, it's the heart chakra. All right. Yeah. So the heart chakra is all about love, healing. Um, and so what they're saying is, what would be beneficial for you is to apply love to the situation, to apply love and compassion and understanding to um, your limited perspective, your limited views, your limited beliefs, um, the past, the trauma, the experiences that you've had, the hurt that you've been carrying, the pain, um, to apply love to every situation that you can with regards to your heart, or with regards to your past experiences, especially where childhood is concerned. because in childhood we developed all of these things that have taken us on this journey where we often attract certain lessons and experiences, right? And so apply love and compassion generously to yourself, especially your child self, right? And to forgive your child self for not knowing any better, to forgive your past, to forgive the the characters and the players who have showed up in your past, your teachers who have showed up in the past. And what I mean by your teachers are all of the people who came into your life to teach you these lessons, even though they were hard, they were all teachers, right? Just as you were their teacher, teaching them things, possibly teaching them about love, right? But after being in this wounded soldier phase for so long, sometimes it's harder for us to reconnect with that same level of love from childhood. And so they're really wanting you to apply this love across the board and generously to yourself, to your past, even to the mistakes that you're making currently, and not be so hard on yourself, right? I did pick up on that earlier in the reading that some of you have been possibly been hard on yourself about how you've shown up. And I mean, however old you are, you've been operating in those masks or in that identity or in that way for the entirety of your life. So you have to slowly integrate back into society as your authentic self. And that can be a process. And so to be patient with yourself and to apply love to yourself and compassion to yourself for those moments too. And instead of, maybe saying something negative about yourself or taking yourself down, in that moment, just saying, you know what? It's okay. I'm human and I get to make mistakes too. And that helps us to see that everyone's human and everybody is here to learn and everybody makes mistakes. And it's not for us to judge how other people decide to show up in the world. They all have their own lessons to learn. And it's not for us to judge ourselves because that's based on uh, possibly past traumas where we were judged, where we were kept in a box, or where we were criticized and hurt and used, or however you would like to refer to your past, because it's going to be different for each of you. But really just applying love to the situation and all across the board. That's your advice on that. I will, let's see here. What deck here? I'll do a couple more decks. Yeah. Okay. They want me to pull from the Mystic Forest Oracles. Oracle. All right. Any messages of support for the collective, please and thank you. I just heard if you could see yourself in the way that we see you, you would never be so self-critical. You would never be so hard on yourself because the divine, your holy ancestors, they don't see you in the same way that you see yourself. And again, that is programming and experiences that you've had that have left you wounded, that have left you weary and untrusting, right? Um, they see your highest potential and they see you climbing out of all of that and stepping into your highest potential. So sometimes the illusions that we're casting are our own doing, right? Sometimes we don't feel capable, or we don't feel worthy, or we don't feel lovable, whatever it is that is your insecurity. They're just saying, like, they don't see that. And they see what you're fully capable of. They see your worth. They see how lovable you are, how strong you are, how amazing you are, how talented you are. And your guides just really wanted to come through and say that, just because you make mistakes or you get stuck sometimes, that's a part of the learning process, um, in becoming solid within your foundation or solid within yourself, and your new identity. And it's okay to make mistakes, but ruminating on it is just going to further suppress you, take you down. When they're recommending that you see yourself in the same light that they see you. That's beautiful. Thanks, Holy Spirit. All right. Any messages of support you would like to share with the collective, please? That one. Okay. One of a kind. Yeah. From the moment you emerged into this world, you had extraordinary talents. You understand starlight, animal voices, and all things magical. Yeah, that's exactly what they were just saying, right? Like, see yourself in this light as your divine self, as your true self, not the wounded warrior who's just been through a billion battles, but instead as this divine being who's having a human experience, but who's extraordinarily talented and gifted and beautiful and capable. And, the list goes on and on and on. They want you to really recognize who you truly are and take control of that. Take your power back, I guess, or your authority, right? Because they want you to step into this emperor or empress figure, which means that you need to be the authority of your own life and cut through all of the crap that might come your way, and that can be from others or from society or even from yourself. Life is a gift. Life is unfolding for you, so seize the day and make the most of every chance to be true to yourself and live life to the fullest. It's time to cut out all the noise, right? I love it when spirit gives me confirmation. What I just channeled, that's awesome. All right, we'll get one more message of support and then I'll get a few from the animal spirit. One more message of support, please, spirit. One. Pursue happiness. Never apologize for what brings you joy. Only you understand where you truly belong and where you can find your safe space. Follow your bliss. Yeah. So again, coming back not only to this safe space, but to this idea of what is right for you doesn't have to be right for anybody else. So nobody else's opinions or viewpoints or programming, the way that they were programmed, um, none of that. Societal, familial, friends, partners, exes, children, whatever. None of it matters if it's not your truth. And so you're being asked to follow your own truth, follow your own happiness. And by doing that, you're not only like pursuing your own joy, your own happiness, and your own personal truth, but you are effectively no longer giving your power away to the past. Yeah. Okay. Oh man, I really wish I could be my full-on self right now so that I could do a longer reading because I love doing these readings. I was kind of sad not to be able to do one over the last few days. I thought about it yesterday and then I'm like, don't think I'm quite there yet. I just got over my fever on Sunday, so yeah, I'll get there. I'll get there soon enough. And I'll be back to my rifled self. That sounds so weird, right? Um, energetic self. How about that? That sounded way too weird. All right, which spirit animal messages wish to come through for the collective at this time? I just heard self-empowerment, empowerment. Okay. Oh, fire, tiger. Yeah, that goes along with what I just channeled. Okay. I choose to be unstoppable. My passion is my power. I am bold. I am brave. Mighty forces come to my aid. Yeah. Self-empowerment. Absolutely. All right. You can do it. It- Okay. Then we've got play. Yeah. And again, it's about balance, balancing your life, right, with passion and play. Um, and bringing play into your life allows for passion to grow too, right? Okay, it says play, dolphin. Swim in the happy joy of living. Inhale confidence and exhale fear. Dive into your wisdom. Go with the flow. Yeah. Yeah, and I think a lot of you are already aware of, how bringing play into your life can exaggerate other energies that are at play behind the scenes, right? Because if you've been with me for a while, I talk about manifestation on this channel, and um, from my own understanding of some of these energies, and I'm still learning, don't get me wrong, but play is very necessary. Being childlike, right? Bringing that energy of curiosity and wonder, and even curiosity into your wounded states, into your shadow work, into your examination of self or examination of past. And, we've got this heart chakra, which was really about bringing that love in to your past self, to your past versions, or even to the current versions or the old masks that are dying off, or the mistakes you might be making, Um, there's really this energy of the inner child wanting to come out and be expressed through play, through passion, through creativity, but also needing some shelter, some love being expressed, some safety, some security in order to fully actualize into this beautiful empress or emperor being that you are and that you've always been meant to be. And sometimes it's just that we need to remember that's who I always have been at my core. And that it's okay to let go of my past, and it's okay to let go of the masks, and it's okay to let go of the pain or the wounds or the stories or whatever it is, right? But also understanding what the insecurities are about and working with that inner child of yours is going to help you bring out the not fearful inner child, right? The one who can trust, the one who wants to play, the one who wants to be curious and explore. All right, we'll get one more of these. Oh, I guess we are at 52 minutes. I'm just slowly reading today. One more message for the collective, please, and thank you, Spirit. Always prepared, squirrel. You are the expert of hard work and hard play. Your cheerful and fun disposition is a blessing to everyone. Don't let life's distractions take you off course. Make a plan for the future, and life will give you all you need. Yeah. So definitely, needing to have some sort of discipline, some sort of boundaries, some sort of rules put in place, some sort of structure, right? Because these two are all about that. They're all about creating that structure in their life so that what they build will last. What they're building is their foundation, their kingdom, right? Their everything. And so they want that to last. They want it to be stable and they want it to be regenerative, right? Just like the squirrel works all summer to collect all of these pine cones so that he can rest in the comfort of knowing that he's okay, she's okay throughout all of winter, and that um, the harvest can then be enjoyed, but there's still work to be done in the coming spring, right? So you want it to be reciprocal, you want it to be something you can rely on. So you still need some sort of practical plan and to be prepared for that. And also, I just heard to be prepared for changes. As you learn lessons, as you're building something or building your foundation or building security, there's going to be hiccups. There's going to be things that work and things that don't. And the things that don't are lessons. Take what you can from that experience so as to not repeat the same mistakes over and over and over again and learn from them. All right. Do we want some badass affirmations? I heard, nah, I'm good. And then I heard somebody else say, yes. All right. So if you do not like swears, this would be your time to tune out. Or if you have little ones or people who may find it offensive, or again, little ones, this is your cue to put on your headphones or pause it and come back later to get these affirmations. Feel free to pause the video and write them down for yourself if you'd like to say them throughout the day. All right, let's get a few goodies for the collective. Self-empowerment, hey, that's a big key thing here. Feeling secure and safe to be yourself. Mm, yeah. And again, coming back to this conflict, this one came out. So again, like whoever it is that you've been battling against or who's been battling themselves technically, who's been in competition with you or who thinks they're in competition with you, but really they're not because you're not in competition with them. Um, Whoever that is has been obviously talking about you um, negatively, you know. What is it called? A slander campaign, most likely, or slandering your name or trying to ruin your reputation. And it might have been picking up recently because things are coming to a close, things are ending. And so that's their only mechanism at this point. You may have them blocked from your life completely. You may not be talking to them. Um, I do see these people walking away, and this one is the victor here. So, and he's looking at this crowd of people here too, who are still fighting. So this may also represent a group in your life of either family or friends or people, coworkers, business, where you have fought your way out of this situation to mend your own heart, to mend your own life, to bring yourself out of this conflict, out of this chaos out of the competition, which you never wanted any part in. You likely didn't even know that people were competing against you. This could have been your whole life, right? But it seems as though that they're still in conflict, or they are now, because of your progress, because of um, where you're at on your path now, or the direction that you're going in. And so let them. Actually, the more they talk crap about you, the more they slander your name, um, the more energy that they put into these things, the more energy it actually just gives you. Because unlike them, you're able to transmute that energy and to build from the ground up. And you have the ideas, you have the innovation, you have the truth. And so you have a lot of options, right? You have options that others do not. That's why they're still fighting. That's why they are fighting. They're fighting over resources that you're getting, or future potentials that you have, or maybe even abundance coming in that they no longer have access to. Your first affirmation says, they only talk shit because they envy your drive. Keep giving them reasons. Absolutely. What else have you got for the collective? Holy Spirit. That one. I will stop breaking myself into pieces to serve others. I will stay whole and let them fucking choke. Oh, jeez. I don't know about fucking choke, but they're choking on their own lies. They're choking on, well, and that's what the smear campaign's all about, slandering your name and talking shit about you. So that's fitting that it goes with that, because they're choking themselves out. It only affects you if you allow it to affect you, right? I'll say that one more time in case it was blurry and you couldn't see it. I will stop breaking myself into pieces to serve others. I will stay whole and let them fucking choke. Choke on their own energy, choke on their own negativity, choke on uh, the garbage that they're spewing into the world. Let go and let God. That's essentially it. Because it's not your karma to have to deal with or to even think about. Their actions have repercussions, and so do yours. So the more you can stay out of it, the better. Better to just step back and allow it, so long as it's not physically, right? Um, Allow the shitstorm to happen in their lives. You don't want to be connected to this person as all their karma or their negative decisions or lifestyle or um, behaviors come back to bite them in the ass. You don't want to be anywhere near this person or even talking to them or anything when this happens. It could be a person or it could be people. I'm seeing people and people and people. So, you know, you're going to have to leave this in the past. Like, he's looking way into the past here and he's just like, nah, I'm good. Because that can attach itself to your energy, right? And affect your stability. So it's really, oh, and that's another message that just came through. It's really important that you understand that if you don't disconnect from that energy, these people or this person or this place or this situation that caused all this pain and conflict, is that they're now going into um, they're now at war with themselves or with the consequences that the universe is giving them. And your guides don't want you to be a part of that. They don't want you to be connected to this in any way, shape, or form, because it'll affect your stability. It'll affect the empire that you were building for yourself. Yeah. Okay, making mistakes is better than fucking perfections. Were we not talking about making mistakes? Making mistakes is better than fucking perfection. Yeah. because that's how you learn. It's okay to make a mistake. You're human, you're not a friggin' robot. And anybody else who expects perfection from another human being often is so flawed themselves that they have to project that onto you to make themselves feel better about their all of their own flaws. So I would disregard the rest and go with the best, which is you. All right, find a way, not an excuse. Yeah, find a way, not an excuse. If there is a will, there is a way. There are always possibilities, there are always options. It's just that sometimes we're up in our heads or we're confused or we're feeling too much or we're dysregulated and we can't see the path forward clearly. We don't know which decision to make, right? Or something from our past is still informing our current decisions. No more excuses. Calm yourself down. Take the time that you need to slow it down and regulate yourself so that you can find a way. Okay? All right, last but not least, I'm going to get a Rumi card to end the session. I was going to do a oracle card, but I don't think I want to read for that long, so I'm just being honest. Final message for the collective, please, and thank you, Holy Spirit. This one? Okay. I am not of dust or air. I am not of fire or water. I am from the source. We are all these united. Yeah. And that's kind of it, right? Like the emperor or empress has been all of these queens and kings already. The emperor empress has gone through all of the elements during the purification process, one by one. And that's how they become the emperor or the empress, that they realize that they are not just one aspect of their being. They are not one part of any specific category, but they are complex, beautiful beings that were created in the image of Source. And that once you unite um, all of these elements together, then you can step into wholeness. You can step into this unity consciousness. You can step into the emperor or the empress. Yeah, that's a beautiful way to close off the session. So, hopefully you enjoyed the read. Didn't take too long. I mean, it was a bit dragged out today, but at least I got it done. Um, if you enjoyed it, do leave a thumbs up. That does really help me out and it allows me to spread my messages to other people who may be interested in them. Feel free to leave a comment if anything resonated with you or if you just like to, or say hi. Your energy is always appreciated on this channel. It helps to contribute your energy in a cyclical fashion so that I also pick up on your guys' energy more specifically. But otherwise, if you're new here, feel free to join, subscribe, and align yourself with a beautiful collective. Otherwise, I'm wishing you all the best today. I will see you in the next collective reading. Take care for now.